Jesus said to his disciples, "If anyone loves me, he will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and we shall come to him and make our home with him. Those who do not love me do not keep my words. And my word is not my own. It is the word of the one who sent me. I have said these things to you while still with you, but the Advocate, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, will teach you everything, and remind you of all I have said to you. Peace I bequeath you, my own peace I give you, a peace the world cannot give. This is my gift to you. Do not let your hearts be troubled or afraid. You have heard me say, I am going away, and shall return. If you loved me, you would have been glad to know that I am going to the Father, for the Father is greater than I. I have told you this now before it happens, so that when it does happen, you may believe." It was my mum's anniversary the other day. It's 2 years since she died. I was away. I'd gone up to a place called Kilmartin for a couple of nights. But my mum was very much on my mind. My dad too. I miss them. But strangely, in a way, I still feel that they're with me. I miss not being able to pick up the phone and talk to them, or call round and have a coffee with them. I miss not being able to take them out for the day, and them not being there when we get together as a family. And yet, in some way, they're still with me. I still don't want to let them down, behave in a way that would disappoint them. And I still talk to them. Not out loud, not if there's anyone else around. But now I talk to them without the need for phones. Anyway, I was away at Kilmartin, and at the ancient capital of Scotland, Dunad. Well, in the car park at the foot of the hill fort, at least. I was watching the rain bounce off the windscreen, and I was missing my mum, who died 2 years ago. And the rain reflected how I was feeling. I should have got out of the car and walked up the hill and stood where legend tells us that the ancient kings of Scotland stood when they were being crowned. But I didn't. I sat in the car, watching the rain and feeling sad. And I didn't want to be sad and wet. Sad was bad enough. And after a while, after watching a couple of people come down the hill looking like drowned rats, I drove on a mile or two to the place I really wanted to visit, Kilmartin and Temple Wood and Netherlargy, ancient monuments I was taken to as part of a field trip in archaeology when I was a student 40 years ago. And as I pulled into the car park, the rain stopped and the sun came out. There's something mystical about Kilmartin, and it seems there's always been so. There are more than 800 ancient monuments around the glen, 150 of them, of which are prehistoric, some more than 5,000 years old. As I walked among the standing stones and the burial cairns, I couldn't help but wonder about the people who built them. When archaeologists are at a loss for what something was for, they usually attribute it to ritual. Stonehenge served a ritual purpose. We were told something like that when we visited Kilmartin in the 1980s. I remember being told that the oldest of the cairns was Neolithic, Stone Age, but that it had been reused for burials in the Bronze Age. Recycling, it seems, was big even then. Saying goodbye isn't easy. And the rituals archaeologists associate with the monuments and the cairns, they say, were part of ancient people's way of easing that pain of parting. Funeral rites are probably the first signs we see in the archaeological record of civilization. The first thing we have a record of people doing was respecting and honoring those who had died, trying to ease the pain of parting. There's a line in the Gospel: "If you loved me, you would have been glad to know that I'm going to my Father." I've often heard similar. If we really believed in heaven, shouldn't we be happy when someone dies? Grief partings are complicated. The ancient monuments speak of our struggle with partings, one I think we still struggle with, at least I still do. For thousands of years, we've tried to work out for ourselves. The monuments are testament to our effort, but even Jesus wasn't able to free his disciples from the pain of parting. Not until they'd experienced the resurrection. Even then, I'm sure, they felt the pain of being parted from those they loved. The difference is, now they had tasted what is to come. Now they were able to live in hope in the promise that our parting is not forever. I miss my parents, but they aren't gone. Not really. Just changed, as one day we all will be.